this is Sunniva.
And this is Johannes.
And you're watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Amalfi Renaissance, a game designed by Takeo Yamada, published by Silex and R&R Games.
It plays from 1 to 4 players in 90 to 120 minutes.
Amalfi, we never heard about that game.
No.
It was made years ago. I don't know how many.
Years ago.
When you say years ago, it sounds like it was very old. It
Yes.
might have been 2 years or 16. I don't know, because I don't remember the information. But Amalfi Renaissance was from Spiel last year, 2023. And we are going to talk to you about that today. We're not going to do like a switcheroo and be like, oh, it's another game today. That would be a very boring video. Sorry. The game.
Yes.
Amalfi Renaissance. You're there like, get on with it. It's a game where you are going to use these little ships. Cute little ships. To place them on, they're not that cute, they're just like ships.
You're
ships. Placing them on different actions to get resources. And the big thing about this game is that the resources are also the ships. You are then moving the ships into different spaces on your player board to show that you know how these resources. And then you're going to spend those resources buying artwork, which is cards with points and actions on them, and you're gonna get locations, which is new action places for your little ships, which are not cute, and you're also gonna get them to invite people, which is the thematic way of playing a card. You're playing a card from your hand which has a person on it, which is then gonna give you a different kind of abilities or instant stuff or final scoring opportunities. And that is basically what you're gonna do. You're gonna start the game with 4 ships. You want to upgrade your fleet to get more ships, and you wanna do this in a way so you are maximizing your actions. When somebody is pausing, you're out of the round, and people will laugh at you if you do it too early. That's not in the rulebook, it's just something that we always do in our house. And then you're going to play until everybody is done, and then you're going to do some final scoring, paying for your ships, and then you're going to end. At the end, everybody's going to do it 4 times, and then at the end of 4 rounds, the person or Sunniva who has the most victory points is going to be the winner of Amalfi Renaissance. This game has artwork. You have seen it. Talk to us about the things you saw.
Yes, the things I saw is nice. I like the artwork in this game. It feels classic, and I feel like this looks kind of like an older game, not in a negative way. And I feel like the artwork makes good space for the iconography, which is excellent in this game. It is a lot of symbols, not very many, but there's like not very many different, but there's a lot of symbols.
There are symbols in the game.
Yes, and you have to look at them.
It's a good thing to do. You could, but this is kind of like an aquarelle.
Yeah.
Like it has that.
Maybe is that yeah.
It feels like an aquarelle kind of.
Nah.
We don't know, but it's like the colors are like, I don't know. No, it's not aquarelle. Nice. It has that,
it's
and also the. I feel like you're saying like I understand what you mean about being classical, but also I feel like it really has its own thing.
Yeah.
Especially all the characters feels very characteristic. Like it's a very I never seen another game with this kind of artwork on the characters.
I agree.
Very like it's interesting and I like it, but I don't think everybody's gonna like it. And I agree with you on all the other stuff.
Yes.
The game has
a rulebook.
Yes! I was waiting for you because you usually say that.
I was just going to mention the double layer player boards.
Yes!
I thought that was the thing.
Let's go back to that. More stuff.
No, the double layer player boards.
But also double layer. Boards.
Yes. Yes.
The board in the middle is double layer.
The board is also double layer. And the game also has a rulebook.
We already spoiled that, so if you are here just to know if the game has a rulebook or not, you have already turned off the video. The rulebook is 24 pages long. It has like the solo mode in it. So before the solo mode, you are going to get to page like 19, 21. So there's only two pages for the solo mode. It didn't feel like a very long rulebook because the rules really just only start on page 8. And there is a lot of examples, and there is like basically it has kind of like a reference to all the different things you can do. For the locations, for example, inside the and all of them, like there is like the indexes that are usually at the end is basically also in the middle of the book, so it's not that long of a game because the rules for this game is kind of straightforward. Mm-hmm. Like all the actions, you have 6 actions to choose from. All of them are very simple. We're going to talk more about that. But first, we did play the game with people. How many of them?
I was going to mention the player rates.
Oh, yes. I'm just skipping things now.
It's fine.
This is the first review we ever filmed.
Yes.
So this is like filmed in 2016.
Excuse us,
we
please.
don't know anything about how this works.
Before the game came out.
Yes, always.
But the player board has really nice iconography and explanation of what you're doing. So you don't need a separate player rate. The player rate is on your player board. Yes.
Good.
And we have also played the game with 2 and 3 players, and it has taken us 75 to 120 minutes.
Yes,
I couldn't say the number.
120 minutes
Or 2 hours.
Yes. So the box is like 90 to 120, and I think you can get it down to like 7. Like the first time we played 2 people was like 2 hours.
Yes.
Which is long. I don't think it should take 2 hours with 2 people.
But this is.
But probably my turns took maybe like around 35 minutes. And 1.5 hours were cinema. But that's how it usually is. Let's talk about the game.
Yeah.
The game is, like, we are talking about worker placement games with a twist.
Yes.
I know people have said there are other games that has done this kind of thing before, but I have never seen it before. Where the workers are the resources.
And that is a cool twist. I love
coolest.
the twist. It's so cool. It makes you really think about the timing of your actions.
Yes.
Because you want to do all of these different things, but if I spend one of the ships, I use that as an action pawn to take this action, and that gives me 2 ships into the woods area. Now I have the woods there.
You have woods.
I have wood.
You can walk through them.
Then I want to do more actions, but I don't have any action pawns left because those 2 are now wood. I could, of course, not make them not wood anymore, but I probably there was a reason I needed wood in the first place.
I think this is the thing of the game. This is my favorite part of the game. The rest of the game is good, spoiler alert, but this is the thing that makes this game stand out from the other games. Because the other things we are doing in this game is spending resources to buy things that scores us points and gives us new opportunities. And we have done that many times.
Yes.
We have done it many, many times. Hundreds and hundreds of times.
Yes.
But never in this way. And the thing this adds, as you said, is making the timing so interesting. Because like when it's my turn, okay, I want to do these 2 actions, but if I do that action, I'm going to lock up my ship, so I can't do that action before I do other actions, and the possibility of you taking that action before I get to do that action is very high. I think this timing and the way to try to squeeze the most out of your ships before the round ends is really cool. You are paying most of the actions with bread. You are getting bread every time you have resources you can't spend for anything. So let's say I have 2 ships in the wood section. It sounds like there's only wood because that's the only one. We're never going to speak about any other resource than wood.
The other resources are named blue and red and green and purple.
Yes.
That is spice. I remember that.
Like spice, like do 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 do.
Like
so you
baby
get 2
spice.
Janes spawned.
Yes.
Okay, back to the
Sporty
thing
spice.
with the wood, which is the most important. You can. Let's say I have 2 chips there, and those are going to be 3 each. That's 6 resources. Let's say I pay them all, and I only need to use 4 for a thing I want to buy. Then I have 2 left, and I can't use them for anything because I can't then do that another action with those 2 because you can't have resources. You can't
split up your ship, basically.
No, save them.
Yes.
I have so many
resources.
Norwegian words in my brain. I was looking for the English one. You can't save them for later. So then I have 2 I can't spend, and those are wood or bread. And you are using that bread to then do other actions and all of that. This is the most important. This is the most interesting part of the game. The other, as I said, is kind of straightforward. You're buying cards, buying locations, which gives you personal worker placement stuff, and you are buying these other cards from your hand, which gives you actions.
So 2 types of cards, both the artwork, which is like a little bonus, but then it's points and scoring, and then it's the persons that you invite that gives you abilities and final scoring and lots of cool things. And there's different paths to go on.
Yes.
I feel like, and I feel like the game will vary, especially with the cards that you draw, which gives you suddenly abilities that wants you to do different things or something. But also you are probably wanting to give you some more ships, build more ships so you can do more actions and have more resources at the same time.
One thing I really love, and this is adding variability to the game, is that you're going to have different end of round scorings each time you play, and you're also going to have these kind of, I'm going to call them milestones. I don't know what they're called, but I have the rulebook, and the rulebook's usually telling me it's a title.
It's a title. Okay, yeah,
Basically,
titles.
milestones. You are trying to race for these scorings. You're going to have one hard and two easier ones each game, and then you're going to have these different final score end of round scorings. And I've never seen this before, and I love it. Love it so much. All of these, like if you do something in some games, for example, Wingspan. We're going to talk about that right now. You have like, if you get one of these scorings in the beginning, it's going to be harder to get more of it. But there's like, it's a majority. But in many games, you're going to get like, oh, you're going to get 4 points at the end of the round if you have these things. But then earlier in the game, it's going to be harder than later in the game. And these pieces and the board balances that out. So that if you get something in the beginning, the pieces themselves are going to have holes in them. And when you place them in an earlier round, you're going to see a bonus points in there. So let's say there's something that gives you like 4 points for each thing. And if you get at the first round, it might be like 2 plus 4 points. So that now it's worth 6 points in the beginning. But if you had it in the fourth round, it would only be 4 points. And that is super cool.
I agree.
love it.
And that also takes away the need to, for example, have different stacks with these are for the beginning of the game and this is for the end.
Yes.
I love that because you then can get whatever goals in whatever order that is possible.
Yeah, and also and that is going to change how you play. Then you also mentioned the end of the milestones, that you mentioned those, that you don't have to go for all of them. But it's very bad. It has happened 2 times we played that one person got to get all of them first because they're going to be diminishing returns. So like the easier one's going to be 12, 8, 4, and the harder one's going to be 24, 12, and 6, I think.
Yeah.
So when somebody gets like all of them first, it's going to be so those kind of racing to them. You're going to have to look at your final scoring card, because in most variants with cards, you have to get the cards, you're going to have a final scoring card at the end of round scorings, and at them and kind of choose your plan, because you kind of need to have a plan.
Yes. It is a tactical game in some sort of way, because the worker placement space that you wanted could be taken, or you try to plan, okay, I want to somehow get to build one ship this round, and you plan for that, and then you have to make kind of a new plan when you're done with that. But also you want to have these, I really like to have these tiles to go for. That gives you an overall idea what you want to achieve throughout your game.
Or your final scoring card, or a mix of them,
absolutely.
basically. But I feel like the variability is kind of high because you are doing the same kind of things, but you are doing it in a different way. So it's going to feel similar, but it's going to feel different each time, I feel, depending on the cards that come out and how you play, depending on the title's final scoring and the card that's in your hand.
Yes.
One thing, like the building of the ships, is something you are always going to do.
Yeah, like the ships are so important in this game, and because they are not only your workers, they are also your resources. Then you very fast in the beginning of the game, you are out of ships. So it feels very important, not good to get every one of them. You can get up to 6 more, but to have some more is very important, I feel like.
At least trying to keep up with the other players.
Yes.
Like if you get behind, it's going to be harder. I'm not saying impossible, but it's basically like if you are playing a game and I'm going to do 10 action a turn, you're going to do 4.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna win. Like so that feels kind of a thing you have to do. But other than that, you are doing like a mix depending on the things you want to do.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of the stuff in the game. We're gonna do like final thoughts. But first, who do you think this is for and what is the weight?
I think this is a medium game. I feel like it's at the heavier side of medium just because of the tightness of things.
Yeah.
And especially because it feels so unique. So the learning curve is very steep, I feel like. It is, you can very easily be in a situation where you have run out of food and everything you need to do needs food.
Oh yeah.
And there is ways to get around them, but that is probably not the best situation to be in the first place. So I think this is a game that, especially the first time you played, it was a little weird feeling.
Yeah, I for me it's not in the higher end of medium. It's just like a medium game.
A medium game, yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay that we disagree. That's more interesting for people because we always agree on most things, so it's fun. Now I just decided to disagree because people are like, oh, disagreement, it's great. And no, but I feel like besides that fact that you need to do the timing of them, it's a pretty straightforward game.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
I don't feel it, but it's a medium style game. And
Makes
basically,
sense.
if you like base Euro games and you now want them with a twist, you're gonna like this game. That is like if you like base Euro games, you are getting resources and trading them for victory points in different ways. Then I think you're gonna like this game. That's the bottom point.
Like another comment to the steep learning curve of this game, and also an addition in the rulebook that I really appreciate. There's a lot of variabilities to the setup of this game, which I really like. Like not the setup on the board, but what cards you're starting the game with. So you can then choose if you want to draft, if you want to start with like a pre-set up starting deck, or if you just want to get random cards, for example.
Don't get random cards.
I really love that they have listed all the opportunities so you can pick the thing that suits you the best.
Yeah, and there's some really good ways there as well. So yeah, final thoughts time.
Yeah.
Before that, if you are new here and you're watching this video and you're thinking, oh, this was a great video about board games and it helped me knowing more about this game I probably haven't heard of before, then you can help us out back in a very big way. And it's so simple and free and cheap, which is free and quick. And it is by giving us a victory point.
Yes, and we get victory points when you click that subscribe button down there. You can also click the bell button to get notifications every time we post a new video.
And this is going to be the end of this. No, it's not. It's going to be the final thoughts. I did this again. Go back to your final thoughts. You start. I'm going to just be here and turn off.
I really like Amalfi Renaissance. I think it's a like crunchy game. I really like the amount of crunch, and it is very tight. At all times you feel like you have one ship too little, or
four.
Yeah, because for example, let's say you have 2 ships left, you have to use one to then do the action, and then that action says to put 2 ships in wood, for example.
Only wood.
Only wood. You only have 1 ship left, so now you get fewer resources that you were supposed to get. Yeah, I really think this is a really it feels very clever. I love this twist on the worker placement genre, and I want to keep it on the collection, so I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Amalfi Renaissance is a better game than Amalfi, just because I haven't played Amalfi. So this is better for me. Like it's infinitely better.
Play this, instantly better.
Yes, I think it's a great game. I think that it might not be the best. Yes, it might not be that. Like no one ever was. That was what I was looking for.
Yes.
But the thing about this twist of these resources, the ships being resources, is just so good. And it makes it feel like all of these things, which are very similar, very familiar, well known, they feel different. It makes it feel like the timing is different than the worker placement game because you need to get back the workers, and that makes the timing and the interaction different. I think the interaction is very important to racing, to the scoring, getting the cards you want. Like everything is interaction. You're drafting, you're trying to score more points, you're trying to go there first, and it's very clever. It's very fun. I enjoy it. I want to play it again. I want to keep it in the collection. I'm also going to give it a 6.5. And
that is not what I gave it.
I mean a 7.5. I'm just saying if you are listening. I am also going to give it a 7.5 and the same as you. And that's going to be the end of the video.
Yes.
For real this time. There's no more final thoughts. And that's the end. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Sinwa.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye bye.